Hi y'all, it's Michelle. I posted a picture yesterday telling you guys that I printed on regular Oracle 651 glossy white with my laser printer and that it worked, it didn't smear. So I told you guys I would post a video today letting you know about the steps that I did on my computer and what I did with my printer. So let's go. So I started in Silhouette. My Silhouette mat normally looks like this. So all I did was come over here, clicked on this little guy up in the corner right here. I changed the size of my paper to be letter. I turn on my mat because if you're going to cut on a mat and you don't set it up to print when you're doing the print and cut, it does not put the registration marks in the correct place. So you can see now my mat's on. I make sure that I have my print border and my cut border. That way I don't accidentally put my picture out of my cut lines. The next thing I do is I come up here, I click on the registration marks. I want to turn them on. I have a cameo, so that's what I'm going to select. And now you can see that I have my registration marks. One thing I learned about the print cut is that if you put anything in these little cross hatches, when you go to do your, when it goes to register it, it will not register it correctly because it picks up your image instead. So I had a lot of issues with that. I'm going to cut out my logo just because I need a big one. So I figured why not. Then I'm going to go up to my printer settings and click on my preferences. So my HP is selected. Okay, so normally my settings are set to factory default, and if I leave it on that and I print on anything glossy with my printer, it smears it. So I always click down on glossy presentation, make sure that my settings are set to letter in here because sometimes I print on A4 paper, and then I just click OK. Now I'm going to leave that for a second and show you guys. So this is the vinyl. It's regular 651 Oracle. I know I'm saying it wrong. I don't care. I have a cutting mat, a slicer that I use. I just measured it out to the 8.5 mark and cut it, and then had to refit it back in and cut it down to the 11 inches because it's 12 inches wide. And then because I do keep it on a roll, it doesn't lay flat. So I had to take it and kind of roll it the opposite way and just hold it for a second so that the paper would lay flat. So then I just load it into my printer. So this is the piece that I already have cut out. So it's nice and flat now. If I don't do that, it tells me that my printer is too full and it won't print. So then I just close that guy, come back to my computer and hit print. And sometimes my printer takes a little bit to actually register that it needs to do something, so you might have to hang out with me for a second. Oh, no, there it goes. I just wanted to make sure that I was printing on letter instead of A4. All right. So now this is what my printer did, straight out. So now I'm going to put it on my mat. I just press it down. I didn't have any issues with cutting it right away, so that's what I'm gonna go do right now. I'm gonna load it into my silhouette. See if I can get it lined up one-handed. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to my computer and I'm gonna go to send. I'm gonna change my, I had to change my blade earlier to a 3, so I cut at a 2 on vinyl just because for whatever reason on a 1 it doesn't cut my glossy vinyl deep enough. And then I'm going to select line because I don't know what I messed with earlier, but it's now wanting to cut the outside box. So I'm just gonna click on line and then it just puts the cut line around my image. And then I'm going to hit send. I'm just gonna unload it. Oops, for some reason it decided it wanted to take it back. All right, so now I have my cut image and I'm just going to grab my X-Acto knife. That way I can sorry, this is not as easy doing one-handed. All right, and then I'll have to go back and pick out the smaller pieces like this guy. And then, so that's done. One of the things that I noticed, I have 2 different types of transfer tape. I have my clear tape, and then I have the paper poly tape. I used the clear tape to put the image on my cups yesterday, and it seemed to work fine unless I peeled it too fast. Like you can see down here, there's a little bit of the black missing, and I think on the other cup there was one more spot over here. As long as I peeled it slowly, it was fine. I've noticed that my clear tape is super sticky. I had even put it, I had taken it off on and off my leg a couple times so that it wasn't as sticky. So I don't know what using the paper poly tape would do. I don't know if it would still have the issue of peeling parts of it up if you peel it too fast. I would just peel it slow. So then today I put the last coat of epoxy on, and you can see it right there on his, next to his hand. But it didn't change the image. It didn't, none of the ink left the image. It didn't fade the image. Let's see, I'll pause it once it comes around. I used the heat gun on it. to make sure that it didn't have any bubbles around it. There's some glitter on it that I've got to take out, but for the most part, it worked just like a water slide does. So I had no issues with it. Yep. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I used a laser printer. I don't know what it would do with a inkjet printer. I have a color, I think I got it for maybe $200 at Staples one day. I use it for everything. I tried doing the same type of thing with like regular sticker paper, but I didn't seal the sticker paper beforehand, and so when I put the epoxy on, it gave it like the oily look. So I don't know if sealing it first would change that. I just decided instead of trying it again, I would go with the epoxy, or go with the 651 and see what that did, and it worked for me. So yeah, have fun guys, try it out, see what if it works, it works, if it doesn't, it doesn't. All right, bye.